Well, yeah, I mean, we had to fly in someone just as Zest got put down a level.
I mean, like, there I was at the bar, right? Me and Bling ordering a beer or having a good chat. You know, we looked up our history together, and it's 9-9 in maps, so like total 50-50. And then all of a sudden he pulls out this freaking flapjack, and I swear, this flapjack had muscles, man. Like, he was like, mate, this is a vegan protein flapjack. And I was like, what the hell? Is it 30 grams of protein? He's like, not far off 27. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I didn't even know they did flapjack like that. Anyhow, getting into this game. So Zest is spawning over in the bottom right side, and Bunny will be playing as the Red Terran as well. Quick intro, getting right into it. Now, Bunny has opted for a gas-first barracks build. This often means that your factory is a little bit quicker, you get a Reaper on the map, maybe your reactor will be faster. But I like this. This is a larger map. I think Hellions are also like a good opening choice by a Terran player on a map with this size.
Yep, nice and large, and we'll see what Bunny exactly wants to go into in the next few moments. As Zest already has that Nexus coming down just after the Cybernetics core. There's the command center from Bunny, of course, so for the next few moments at least, we're just seeing those expansions being established and just waiting for that factory to come into play and to see what exactly Bunny wants to do, right? Because his super early pressure will sort of dictate how aggressive Zest can be almost, and how successful Zest's aggression might be too. So we'll see what Bunny wants to try and build up here.
Yeah, definitely. Thunderbird's a map where all three bases are safe behind only one ground attack path until you open those minerals, which tend to be a little tougher to break through than you think. So defending on this map is very, very easy for both races. Any kind of two-base pushes from Terran, much easier to hold off. If you want to make shield batteries, you only have to defend in one location and such. So we often find longer games on this map, more macro-orientated games, given that the Terran can't just win with a simple push most of the time.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of kind of very aggressive Liberator players on this map because of that, like, one ramp up into the Natural and third, and if you can get on that ramp, suddenly it becomes very difficult for the Protoss because they're getting split between their Natural and the third base, and, well, there's no real way to kind of loop around to flank that position, so... And
one big thing, like, I talked about, like, the size playing a part in the fact that Hellions are pretty good on this map, but look how open the Protoss Natural is. Like, yeah, he's got an Adept just patrolling here, a Sentry also, like, doing a little dance, a little tango, but walling that off is actually very, very difficult. And, I mean, if you wall off the Natural, then all of a sudden you make it difficult for your army to get over to the third later on, so it's definitely nice for Hellions. And he's going up to a 4 count here behind all of this, so he's definitely looking to deal economic damage with it, whatever he's doing.
Tech Lab on the starport too, so already setting up for something maybe a little bit extra beyond the initial... You did build a medevac, right? No. Is that just the starport just finished?
Just finishing. Probably going to go for like a Cloak Banshee, depending on or he might just reveal Cloak and then change to something else.
Especially as the Hallucinated Phoenix like flies in right now, so...
And the thing is, whenever you see a starport with a Cloak upgrade on the way, you have to respect it regardless. Yep. Like, even if you think the Terran might cancel it, you have to respect the Cloak upgrade. The Hellions, though, marching in, kill a Sentry immediately. Only being utilized for one hallucination. Now the probes, they're all getting pretty low here, Wardy.
Yeah, 3 of them going down, but none of them stacking up because Zest has just left them mining rather than running away, which has kind of helped. 7 probes fall. Obviously, all the Hellions go down, but killing that Sentry is really nice because that denies a lot of the further scouting as well, of course, and potentially force fields. There's a reason you get those Sentries up so early, and you tend to want to keep them up as Blink. Going to be done soon, but, well, Bunny's going to have another wave of aggression.
I'm doing a little bit of drumming on the desk here, Wardy, but that's a really good start for Bunny, like really good. You don't hope to get, you know, you want to get 3, 4 pros, maybe 5, but getting 7, also getting the Sentry, and also just making sure that your opponent stays at home. And he didn't actually see any tech, like trying to defend against that push. Normally you can find like an Oracle and such, but he got to see it. There was a pretty good Stalker count. So with that, he's probably going to know that it is a Blink opening. So with that amount of damage, yeah, you get damage done, but it's also quite a bit of scouting information.
Yep. Banshee doesn't have Cloak on it, so as he comes across the map, he's actually started a Raven back at home, so a lot of potential with that when it comes to pushing. There's the 2 pylons. Yeah, gonna spot that Banshee, and, well, Banshee might just try and get a pylon, right? Any damage you can. If you go too far in with Blink finish, this Banshee is dead, so staying where he can get out easily, and well, he doesn't pay attention, so that's unfortunate, but he still slips away.
Did he cancel Cloak?
Yes.
Oh, he did, yeah. So, I mean, the Cloak was a total fakie here. And I really like those pylon positioning, by the way. Yeah. Like, a lot of people tend to forgo, like, planting these pylons around the map, but they're very cheap, honestly. If you can try and get an economic lead by chrono boosting out probes, and you can have this, like, veil of safety, they almost work like creep tumors for vision, you know, they just cost something. It's very, very helpful in this matchup where you can definitely get ahead economically.
Well, Bunny going full on into that bio play, +1 attack, stim pack upgrades all starting, his extra barracks coming from even the second engineering base. So he's pretty well set on where he's going to end up. His third CC is done, of course, which is nice. He can get that down already. Again, no real threat to the third base at all here on Thunderbird. It's a very easily held position with a couple of tanks set up. He should just be able to sit here, and it's going to be very tough for Zest to do anything to break him.
So Zest right now, like, he's in a position where he's got Blink, he's got his third base up pretty comfortably. By the way, we also didn't talk about that shield battery in his natural literally finished as the 4 Hellions died. Yeah. So it's like one of those really unfortunate timings. Okay, I love that he blinks over and waits. A lot of people might be like, oh, why didn't he just go? He was waiting for the blink to come off cooldown again, so then he has a nice retreat. So there's some nice play. Obviously, he only gets one SCV, but he also denied mining a little bit. So StarCraft 2 is a game of so many little mini games trying to get an edge here, there, and everywhere. So that was very nice by him.
Storm coming in from Zest, so he's actually just playing pretty quickly into Storm, right? I mean, he's not stuck around on gateway units for too long. He's got a couple of Immortals. So Storm coming in really quickly here. We saw, I mean, Zest against Soul, right? There were some killer Storms coming down. Remember,
whoa. Hold the phone, Wardy. Double armory. And then he's taking 2 gases at the same time. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this isn't intentional. But if it is and he goes for a massive switch, then I'm really curious as to what he's going to do. Because like the fact that they're both being started at the same time, I think is one of those things where you're like, there we go. Okay, thank God. I was like, oh my God, are we going to see some like epic BC switch here with like double upgrades and stuff? Because like that's not going to work, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, that would have been really crazy. But unfortunately, nothing of the sort. Looks like that was the Banshee falling down as it tried to come back through there. And meanwhile, Bio is kind of, stacked up with decent upgrades now, so can start to take some presence on the map, because Bunny's had to sit back quite a lot other than those early Hellions and the Banshee. Ooh, Zest just grabbing one more unit there as he'll continue to run away. That Bio given chase, he'll have Blink again in a moment, though.
So the main thing that I'm looking at in this game is like the worker counts. So Zest, while he stabilized the third base much earlier than his opponent, and he will be able to get like a little ahead in supply, like more than he is doing. Okay, now he takes his 4th. The thing is, Bunny's caught up in a real way, and this 4th base could have been way faster than Zest. For some reason, he just didn't feel safe enough to take it, despite having that map control from the Stalkers and such. So I feel that Zest was kind of preparing for an all-in coming that never really came. Maybe he was thinking like, oh, this is a fake third base, like not much saturation going on here. But in turn, Bunny's actually got a little bit of a lead here. Even the upgrades, he's going to have 2-2 done when the Protoss is at 2-1. Yeah,
and how often do you actually see the Terran being ahead on upgrades in TvP, right? It's actually kind of a rarity.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, I come from the days where, like, Chrono Boost, or rather, Forge upgrades were even faster, that nice little balance patch by Blizzard. But, one really big thing here is, what's he getting this Stargate for, by the way? I was going to say, like, the big thing here is the Ghosts. The Ghosts, the Widowmines, the big, just bio army. There's no Colossi or Disruptor to really make Bunny's life difficult. All Bunny has to do is just make sure that he deals with those High Templars efficiently, and he's a damn good player, so he can do it. Fleet Beacon as well, and second Stargate. So he absolutely is predicting it is going to be mass Liberator. And I mean, Liberators are coming out.
But it's not like mass Liberators, right? Usually you deal with like the first 6 Liberators, just blinking Stalkers around. It's kind of when Liberators get like 10 plus, you need Tempers, otherwise you can never engage. So it's almost like that's setting up for something that isn't coming just yet, and that might catch him off guard, because if Bunny just pushes while maxed out and Zest is throwing money into Tempest, this could be really painful for Zest. So see what Bunny does, because Bunny is also still sat back pretty defensively as he gets that 4th base established.
I'm a little bit scared for Bunny, because I play TvP in a totally different way. I want to be in my opponent's face whenever I can. And I know that he's waiting for that 2-2 to finish. He's waiting for the +1 to finish. He's waiting for the Ghost Cloak to finish. So there's a lot of things finishing. But just because things are going to be good for you in X amount of time, once Tempest join the field, that's when life gets very hard. You do start playing that war of attrition, and the Tempest can outrange everything in your army.
Well, Tempest's going to be up here soon. Fusion Core on the way in the meantime from Bunny, as he's probably just thinking about that Liberator range. Again, that's one of the things you want them Tempests to deal with, so it feels like Zest should be prepared. It feels like Bunny just isn't getting as aggressive as maybe we thought he might, as now Zest is the one moving forwards.
The real thing here Bunny is maxed out. Like, he's super maxed out. If he loses these drops and stuff, then he can remake units. But Zest is the one that has 20 supply to burn. So I'm a little bit... I think this should have been a little bit faster from Bunny. That being said, this is a nice... I like the fact that Zest didn't warp in everything. And then he saved some for this counter damage, you know? Like, he actually saved it for the drops of Bunny, knowing they're going to come. Nice shutdown of this drop.
Yep, a few Stalkers in position, and now the Zealots warping in as well. This is going to be nothing more than a few gateway units traded up for a few bio units.
Wow.
Trying to attack the top side, but that's a wall of cannons there on the 5th base of Zest. Hell of a defense.
Yeah, honestly, I liked a lot of Bunny's moves, but it also felt like he just kind of let a giant sleep and then just come out with like a very, very strong defense. And this is a really high-tech army too.
Yeah.
Like there was no, like look at this, 4 CCs on the way. Like Bunny has no intention of winning the game with any kind of push anytime soon. He's absolutely willing to play the long game, which is crazy in TvP, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, he's playing like hyper late game rather than just getting, you know, the first few ghosts, liberators, and be like, okay, let's hit some EMPs and do something. He is happy to just only drop around, drops which are not really guaranteed to get that much done, as the Stalker's going to blink in after this. Again, this is kind of, for Bunny, kind of time to just trade some of these units out as he's building up more air army anyways, and just try to, you know, get some damage done and keep Zest pinned back while he builds up into even more starports on the way. 5 Vikings at a time already, 2 ghosts being added in, obviously some extra upgrades finishing. Yeah, Bunny also 5th base down that left side too, so really heading into the later stages now.
Yeah, and he's not really missing a beat when it comes to like upgrades and just making sure his like work account's still pretty damn good. Like you might look at this and be like 80 SCVs, but this is the new age of Terra, and they've been kind of doing this for a good year or so now, where 80 SCVs is the new 66. So he's expanding like a madman. He's got a couple of sensor towers here, and he knows he's playing pretty safe. The thing is, on the other side of things, Zest is already getting like a very, very good army together, like 5 Tempests. This is strong. This is very strong.
Yeah, some very good numbers.
Whoa, double cybernetic, or another cybernetic core just to focus on those air upgrades as well.
So really committing into that, really wants to be powerful in the skies, as he just find a couple of tanks on the defensive here on the 5th base. So, I mean, but the rest of his army is just kind of out of position. Here come the Vikings, the Ghosts as well. First Storm doesn't really connect, an anti-armor missile will go down. A couple of them do. But again, nothing really killed in Zest's army. Nothing really died as the Liberator will harass. And this is super annoying, of course, because you just can't reach this very easily. Even the few Stalkers here, I mean, with the shield battery, nothing goes down, but it's war pins, and it's just attention being paid where you don't want it to be paid.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at this, right? And Zest definitely has a bit of a bank, like some Zest macro going on, you know, he's got some supply available, but I like the fact that he keeps that available for the drop, so he can warp in. I think that's one thing that a lot of Protosters tend to forget about, so definitely working in his advantage. And he's building up a bank, he's getting good upgrades, and I feel that he's really focusing on the next stage of the game, which is getting those air upgrades together, getting the armor, the attack, getting more Tempests out. This is very, very tenacious by Bunny, in that he wants to keep harassing, but look at this. By the way, I love the fact that he puts the Stalkers back in the zone just to take the shots from the Liberator. Because
that should have been 3 probes, and obviously it was only 1 probe in the end, so no target firing from Bunny. Cost him a couple of probes there, just because of a good move of Zest. Obviously he has that shield battery, so Stalkers will not die. As we do have now, again, these armies just positioning over on that left-hand side and just trying to see what they might be able to do.
I'm really wondering what is Bunny's end goal here, because this army feels kind of flimsy. I know that a lot of people are like, man, if those liberation zones get set up though and the Protoss just runs through it, he's going to die, and these Vikings are pretty good against Tempest. Okay, Yamato cannon, more starports. This is what I wanted to see. These disruptors, if this does end up a total air Terran army, is going to be very, very useless. But Bunny has to be careful against this.
Yeah, he has to be very, very careful. And he's still kind of a ways off getting those battle crews. Oh, the flanking High Templar hitting some storms. It's quite a few kills there, some ghosts included. So Zest getting some kills, and well, again, as those extra starports finish, Bunny really does just want to be building up those BCs, right? So anything, you know, any money he has to replace other things on, that's going to slow him down a little bit.
I tell you what, though, this Tempest count has definitely been thinned out a little bit. Or, did he literally lose like 3 or 4? I'm a little bit surprised that he's making more disruptors after seeing the threat of the air army.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, like, what can you realistically make? Do you want to make Colossi to deal with the ground? But I think his main focus should be on just getting the air army back and just eliminating this air army.
Yeah, really build up that Tempest count once again and go from there. There was a nuke finished up as well. There was a ghost running around the map. We've not seen that come into play yet, but that's something else that's going to force Zest to start looking around the map, being elsewhere, and just giving Bunny maybe that opportunity, that time to get those battle cruisers up and running. Just a stray couple Widow Mines also left on the right side. That ghost gets killed instantly.
That was the least happy ghost of all time. He's like, oh, you really want me to run in here, Bunny? All right, I'll do it, mate. Screams his head off.
Knew what was coming to him. Worst way to go. Another nuke on the production tab here. Another ghost attempting its way down to the bottom left side. Oracle, that revelation just gives you that vision constantly so the Tempest can reach that little bit further, of course, and you can just constantly pick away at things now as a few SCVs being sacrificed as well. So it's kind of blink in there, but quite a lot of liberation zones.
Ooh, and nukes are joining the field. If I didn't know better and I was looking at this production tab of the Terran, I'd be like, mate, this is a TVZ for sure. By the way, is that nuke too close to the ghost?
I feel like it's going to kill the ghost, right?
Yeah, all right. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were had. A true masochist, but now Bunny kind of moving in here with some liberation zones.
And those 5 SCVs that Bunny sent to die, by the way, are still alive, just chilling on the other side of the map.
By the way, I love this little outpost by Zest. Yeah, the shield batteries, the cannons as well, in case your observer does die and the ghost or cloak ghosts want to move in. Which seems to be a big focus right now, permanently scanning and just making sure you can pick off all the observers.
That's an extremely short-lived nuke as the Disruptor hits it as it launched. Ghost goes down. I mean, Zest trying to hold that base as well, right? If you can hold this forward base, it's fantastic for you, but it looks like Bunny is going to be able to push this back. And
he tried to make a nexus there?
Yeah, he wanted to expand, man. He wanted to mine it. Very confident that he was going to be able to hold that position, but Bunny says, no way. That's actually quite a lot of minerals that just go down for Zest here, because a lot of those cannons just finished and then went down instantly.
Yeah, like, I really feel... I know the Disruptors, like, play a part in it, but I really feel he needs to focus on winning this air battle or doing something about the air units. Like, he has to have High Templars either coming in from different angles here. Okay, so his choice of attack is not to deal with the army directly, going for the Blink DTs. He's going to deal with his economy. So Zest, he's kind of changing up a bit. He realizes what he's doing isn't really working out, and he's opting for a totally different strategy here.
Ooh, Libre finds a High Templar just about. Again, little bits of harassment from Bunny as well, still just trying to peel Zest back. Zest's gonna just make a beeline for the top side of this map here, and again, Bunny, who is still very focused and sieged up on the bottom, is now gonna have to relocate, and there's Disruptors to try and hold him down. The ramp is Zest, and he's gonna take a few Liberator shots, loses a Disruptor, Nelly the Immortal. He can still pick away at this base, but I'm not sure if he's gonna kill it before the rest of the army really keeps pushing this back, and yeah, Zest's attack is going to be fairly unsuccessful in the end.
How many High Templars are on the field for Zest right now? Is that 5? Okay, whereabouts are these fellas? Because they're not with the army, right?
Yeah, I don't think so, unless they're like full energy and they're really just hidden in there. Maybe just step back defensively, or maybe looking to flank in, because we did see him doing that before, right? That's 1, 2, they're just all over the map.
Okay, I do like the fact that he's got them spread out, but it's also good to just make sure you have one with the army. So the Blink DTs and the Stalkers do shut down that bottom left base. The thing is, Zest is so rich behind all of this. Like, he's... In fact, can we have a little look at the resources lost tab this game? Yeah, so Zest has been trading far more efficiently than the Terran players, and that's what you get when you have an army like Tempest and such. So even if they do get to, like, an even mine-out situation, you're probably going to end up with Zest being the victor here, unless something magical happens for Bunny. And with 5 BCs joining the field, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's where things could definitely turn around if we get a mass BC army. Well, who knows how that even plays out. How rare is that in TvP as we see Stalkers blinking through to defend a little bit of a run by, another nuke lined up to get rid of some of those cannons, get rid of some of this defense on this base. And again, just...
Oh, he kind of sees it a little bit, but the observer moves away. Oh, gets the nuke off. I mean, that's 750 minerals worth of cannons. Yeah. It's something. It's something.
It just makes it's something that Zest has to be rebuilt. If he doesn't, maybe there's opportunities to deal damage there later. Bio will deflect the DTs and the Stalkers that were attacking that left-hand side. And actually still is chasing down there. Zest pulling his main army back through the center of the map.
I'm so amazed by the fact that Bunny's so willing to go to this stage of the game against the Protoss. I got to commend the man, because this is insanity to me, but he's given it a damn good shot here. The thing is, these Tempests, they outrange those Vikings really damn hard, and everywhere that I look, the Protoss army just seems to be so efficient. Wow, you don't often see this.
Zest taking that base, which kind of does probably belong to Bunny. And that's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle over there as they try and sort that out between themselves. These Tempests are just picking off Liberators as they siege up the Disruptors, zone the Ghosts away already as well. There's a large fleet of battlecruisers down on the bottom left-hand side. So Bunny trying to put these units, obviously trying to save the tactical jumps so that he can harass and then get out of there alive with them. So let's see how it goes. It is just the 5 BCs. After that, he's gone back into Viking and Liberator production.
I do like the fact that he's ran around the map with the BCs as opposed to warping in, because warping in means you can't warp out. So that gives him the choice to back out of there. Maybe just, he could definitely annihilate a base with those BCs, then portal out. But Zest is doing all the right moves right now. Like, I give him a lot of stick for a lot of the choices that he makes in other series, but right now he's playing very serious and he's playing a cool, calm, uncalculated late game.
There's a couple of Stalkers are trying to find their way behind a mineral line, and they'll be able to harass a little bit. Again, it's just these little bits of harassment. Yeah, that one Tempest didn't sign up to defend the right place on the map, I'll tell you that. And Archon as well chased away, and there's going to be quite a few probes forced to the recall, but of course, again, tactical jump available. Actually caused just a few of the Tempests there, but man, they actually do surprising damage, I think, to the battlecruisers. No teleport? There we go. Finally getting out of there.
Like, both these players have pretty damn good upgrades on the air. So Bunny has 3 to 1, 1 being the armor, but Zest has 3 to 3. So these units are doing maximum damage to each other. And I mean, you might be like, oh, he needs more armor on those BCs, right? Well, it doesn't help when Tempests are doing like 80 damage per hit or something silly.
It's like so minimal, the difference that it makes. As we're going to be seeing, well, again, Tempests just seem to get the pick up every time they come forward. They get a couple of units for free. And that's, again, just why Zest has that huge bank and why Bunny's bank is, yeah, it's sizable, but it's obviously compared to Zest. Nowhere near as that's going to be the Stalkers blinking in to get rid of some of these Liberators. Still sticking around, and well, just a bit of a trade. I mean, I think as you lose some of these Stalkers, they can be replaced with other things.
Mapu, can you bring up the resource loss tab again? Because I think that was so bad. Look at this, 29k to 19k.
So painful.
You talk about efficiency here. Those Tempests have forced so many bad fights out of Bunny, and Bunny keeps on pouncing. He keeps on trying to get these good trades out of these Vikings. But this army of Zest is looking very, very stocky, and right now it's way stronger than that of the Terran Force. The Disruptor Balls do move forward. They do bait away the army. All the Tempests are dead now, but also all the Vikings.
Yeah, they went down. The Archon's getting some real damage on those. Stalkers just blinking forwards. It's actually mostly Marauders in this, so those Immortals are absolutely killing it. BC's come back in, and without the Tempest, maybe they will be what forces Zest away here. But Bunny's bank is almost spent. He only has 1,000 minerals left in it, as a couple of Yamatos will claim some victims as a Disruptor shot comes through. This is going to be Zest turning back to fight again, reinforcing Stalkers. He blinks underneath, and the BCs have to teleport away, but they haven't teleported that far. And maybe we see just another blink from Zest in a moment or two as he claims some command centers.
We see that the supplies are fairly close here, given that, okay, Zest now actually uses his money. 10 Stalkers, 2 Tempests, a War Prism Disruptor at once. But the thing is, so much is in production for Bunny. He's got a few BCs are going to be joining, but this is so much ground army now. Zest totally switched out of that Tempest army. The BCs now, do they really stand a chance against this? In fact, maybe they do. That was a ridiculous blink under all this firepower of Bunny, but Zest still climbing in supply. 12 Stalkers at a time are being warped in. The Immortals are just dealing with everything. More Stalkers also joining up. The BCs are thinning out entirely now. This is a crazy fight.
Yeah, this is a real kill move from Zest, just continuing to warp in Stalkers just to kill him right here and now, and it will work out. Zest picks up a game number 1, and Bunny, he wanted that late game, he got it, and he lost.
Yeah, if production would be able to come grab me a water or something, by the way, while I'm over here, that'd be awesome. But yeah, like, really, really weird choice by Bunny, you know? Like, it's all, like, I know there's a lot of wine, there's a lot of salty Terrans that can be like, oh, look, late game, blah, blah. But the thing is, if your strengths are not in the late game, why do you choose to go there? Because I really feel that he was playing his opponent's game, and, you know, like, that's not really what you really want to be doing. So, an unusual strategy choice by him. Maybe it was about the fact that Thunderbird is very hard to 2-base all in. So it was just like, given that I can't do that kind of pressure, I'll just go a totally different way and try and catch my opponent off guard. Yeah,
I mean, if anything, I do kind of like the idea of just completely committing into from the start, the kind of like going late game, right? Rather than trying to play bio or something and then switching it out to play, you know, try and play late game when it doesn't work, right? So I feel like if there's a map to try it on, that was maybe it, and I'd be very surprised if we saw something similar as we actually jump into our semi-thermal for a little bit here.
Okay, first glance, Protoss on 3 base, up 20 supply. Resources lost have very much in their favor. looks pretty good for the Protoss.
Yeah, and Hostam obviously already 1-0 up as well, so UFM in a little bit of trouble here in this game number 2 already of a best of 5.
I love when these two play against each other, by the way, because it's always like the battle for who's actually the best in Netherlands right now. And, you know, very often I feel when Uthermal's doing super good internationally, like super good, I always feel that Harstam is the kind of guy that, can kind of take him down, regardless of maybe being a little, like, not quite as good at the time.
I feel Harstam actually always beats Uthermal when Uthermal's, like, really good. And then I feel like when Uthermal's, like, slumping a little bit, he actually somehow always beats Harstam in this. It's, like, so weird. They do play each other a lot in those Dutch tournaments, the DSCL and so on. And yeah, Harstam just looking good, right? I mean, obviously just killed off a whole bunch of units early on and is kind of just rolling with it.
Actually, I mean, I know Bling's here, and I'm going to be talking quite a bit about Bling. You know, I'm getting those vegan tips for my protein salads and stuff and protein flapjacks with mussels. But it always, like, it's always way more pressure when you play against a countryman, like, no matter what. And, like, when you play a good friend, and I know these two are, you always try even harder, and the will to win is so much more fierce, and the want of not losing is so much more impactful. So yeah, you always try harder in these games too. So it's always nice to see Harstam thrive and live up to the occasion.
Yeah, really, really is. As we're going to be seeing the army here of Harstam moving around in the center.
Oh,
and we'll just chilling out.
HomeStoryCup production are delivering me what can only be described as apple juice, you know?
Apple juice for a bit of fun. Beautiful. I mean, you don't get that in any other tournament in the world, I'm pretty sure. It's like a real HomeStoryCup exclusive.
Are we going to be watching the rest of this game, or is the next map? Because I see Bunny's fingers moving. I don't know if this is just like a reaction they did. Oh, we are.
Whoa.
Wow, it's 2 minutes in, you know?
You're magical, Ben. You say something, you get it.
I mean, I saw both these players going at it. I'm like, I think that's the game.
Yeah, I mean, cool to pop into UFM versus Harstam, but nice to see how this game kicks off, because obviously this is what we just saw game 1 of as well, and yeah, I mean, excited to see if Bunny can, what Bunny does differently.
Like, we're here, guys. In the gaps, we will show you the other maps that are going on, because we got a top 12 right now. A lot of the players are trying to work their way into a top 8, and they're all freaking close matches, honestly. Like, I don't think there's any easy match in the top 12. When I hear about some of these guys, it's like, oh, who are you up against? Oh, yeah, it's like, I'm against TY right now. Like, oh, it's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's actually an insanely stacked tournament once we get through to this playoff section already. As we do have the Twilight Council building here, so the early game choices of Zest being made. Bunny with a super fast 3rd CC, so again, he's kind of playing for a later game.
Bunny's playing the maps here. Yeah. I've decided now, like, Thunderbird, 2 base all-ins are out of the question. 2 base pressure bills, kind of out of the question too, honestly. Like, they're too easy to defend for the Protoss. Like, you only need to focus on one zone. Yes, harass can come in from many places, but that ground army, only one. And here, Acropolis, one of the biggest maps in the pool, you know? Like, you look at this and it's like, okay, I can't really get a Reaper into the main base. I can't really scout. I'm going to go with the total opposite here. I'm going to go for 3 CC off the bat. I kind of like the things that he's doing.
Yeah. No, absolutely makes sense, right? The maps are there to be played, and he's playing them to his best chances. So it's obviously just, I mean, we have 2 very kind of macro-focused maps in a row, and so it looks like he's just got this one style kind of planned out. But I'm sure we'll see things changing as we move through the series. Of course, best of 5s today, so kind of get a little bit more map variance, and you see some of these maps that we haven't seen as much in the best of 3s because they get vetoed out a lot.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. By the way, Stim and +1 weapons starting this early. And, oh, okay, I love Zest's response to this. So he sees what he's up against, right? Immediately double forge. He's like, all right. We're going to play the greedy game, eh? I wouldn't be surprised if he just chrono boost probes out for the next few minutes and he's like, boom, 3rd Nexus.
Well, there's just no pressure coming his way from Bunny, right?
He is supply blocked to shit right now. Like, this is...
Yeah, that's going to be painful.
Like, if you choose to play a greedy game and you get supply blocked, why? Like, does he have chrono boost on his Nexuses right now? I think there might have. I mean, it's a bad supply block to happen when you want to play this kind of game against your opponent. So definitely a misstep. And I know a lot of people might be like, oh, it's just a little supply block. Like, anything that happens earlier in the game when it comes down to economy is way worse for you.
Yeah, has a much more long-lasting effect. As I do see a bunker at the front. So Bunny, again, obviously just very safe here on the free bases. Finally, his factory coming up as well. he's not going to look to do anything at all until, you know, Stim combat 1-1 maybe is done. That's when he can finally go on the map. But that's not going to be until the 7-8 minute marker here. So we're talking about a long time where Zest can, or should have been, chrono boosting out probes, building up upgrades and all the rest of it.
I mean, you see that that's his goal, right? Like, that's all he's chrono boosting out right now. Does he need to chrono boost out those upgrades? No, he doesn't. They're going to come online. He saw that it was only one engineering base, so he knows he will get ahead in that regard. The one thing that he really needs to eke out here is that probe count. And, I will harp on a little bit. Like, Zest macro isn't the best thing in the world, but that's just, like, a very simple mistake that shouldn't happen. Like, 54 out of 54 supply block. Then you put down your Nexus. Then you put down your pylon. It's like, all right, mate, that's like 6 less probes than you should have, really, going into this game. But behind all this, a second Robo goes down. I like this quite a lot. So he's going for the, or he sees the 5 barracks, right? So he knows it's a huge committal to the ground army. And he knows that, like, the factory is probably late, the starport was late. Any kind of air force will be a lot lower. So going for a higher Colossi count early on, I like this choice. Even here, focus firing single Marines out, blinking away, not taking any damage. StarCraft 2, again, it's a game of little mini-games trying to get an edge out.
Yep, and Zest doing a great job of it at the moment, as obviously those Stalkers being on the map just gives them the info of what might be moving out on the map from Bunny as well. So, again, some good info he can work with as those Medivacs going to load up, and Bunny, for the first time, looking to go somewhere, but the Stalkers of Zest are pushing forward, so Bunny have to be very careful and really have to keep those drops back for a little bit longer. They might still get seen here. He's going all the way down to the bottom, but even that was kind of, fortunately for Zest, he doesn't even know it, but it was delaying this drop.
I tell you what, though, there aren't any SCVs being made, Wardy. I think this third CC was almost kind of a fake for, like, some kind of big push here.
Yeah, he went very fast up to, like, the extra barracks as well after the third CC, so it looks like he just wants to go and keep on going. His Widowmine's on the way out. He's getting +1 armor, but if we see no armory here, then even more so, right? Just trying to end the game on these 1-1 upgrades. So, I mean, look at the army supplies, right? Zest has almost kind of walked into the trap of Bunny. He's getting 2-2, extended thermal lance, charge, double Colossus. And yet, what has he actually got standing on the field right now?
I tell you what, if this pincer attack is timed out very well, he might be able to pounce on these Colossus, because look at this. These Stalkers are moving back up to the main. He's like, am I going to get dropped here? And I mean, you might, but it won't be in your main at all. So Bunny just vying for vision right now. So he is pulling out his army. And by the way, yes, not one SCV has been made in the past few minutes. This third CC build, it was to eke out a good economy, maybe make his opponent overreact. Oh, Bunny is opting for a drop here, maybe for the main base. And one thing that Bunny does do, by the way, he doesn't often scan in the base when he does a drop like this. He'll scan for observers and stuff, but he never usually scans. So he will move in, and it'll be very late before Zest realizes. And here, he does blink in. Really good blink under the medevac. Takes one out immediately. But these Stalkers, they are not going to do well against these Marauders and Bio.
Yeah, just a little bit too much. Even though he got 2 medevacs, it's not quite been enough just yet. And now Bunny's moving down to the bottom side. Zest is realizing this and is on his way back over. A couple of force fields here already. There's the rest of that Bio army. Couple of force fields, but the Bio's on top of the third base. Dropping the main is going to get cleaned up now, and it feels like Zest is just about held on. Of course, the longer Zest holds on, the more that 20 work advantage comes into play for him.
All right. This didn't work out for Bunny in the way that he wanted, and you see that. Like, he's making SCVs again. He knows that this is going to be a longer game than he actually planned on doing. Zest keeps floating quite a lot of minerals. He does take out the Observer here, and now he's doing what he does. And there won't be a scan in the main. You can bet your bottom dollar. Instantly runs into the Stalkers, and it's a Bunny trademark that. Like, I've studied a lot of Terrans throughout the years, Wardy. And, you know, when you don't see a scan as a Protoss, it means that you don't necessarily know a drop's coming. But the thing is, if a Terran doesn't scan, he runs into a Stalker ball like that, you're going to lose out. So it's a very, very big, risky, gambly play, and he does it every freaking time.
He's going to try and go for it again. Still just seeing if those Stalkers are there. He's actually flying through an Observer, so Zest is able to see that drop coming multiple times now. And Bunny, he has started up that SCP production for a little bit longer. He got up to 59 workers now. He was at 49 before. Well, he seems to have stopped again, so almost just getting fully up to free base saturation and saying, okay, maybe now I go once more. Maybe he's just going to stop for a while because there's a 4th CC, so he is going to continue at some point. But I mean, this is all while Zest has been tens of workers ahead.
Yeah, I mean...
The upgrades too, it's insane.
Like, Bunny does have a supply lead, but that's rather deceiving here, because Bunny, he's stuck at 1-1 Now he starts his armory, but how late is that? 3-3 is on the way for the Protoss. So
1-1 versus 3-3. It's going to be disgusting.
Yeah, so like supply-wise, you could have 200 supply Bunny right now, and it would be like, you know, still pretty close. But the fact that he's a little bit behind here, he does push in on the third base. And you do see that if this drop can somehow land in the main base, then he can be in good shape. But Zest doing a very good job of not letting that happen.
Yeah, continually zoning. He's not let that drop do anything since the first one got in there. And Bunny's stimming so much on this bottom side, loses another medevac. I mean, these units are never going to get fully healed up for a long time. So Bunny really has to pull back and stay pulled back. And maybe this is where Zest can actually just launch the full-on counterattack as well across the map. Because he is going to have free upgrades. He's going to be in a very good position in that regard.
Oh, he's in a super good position. The only thing that he has to make sure of right now is not getting dropped. I mean, even if he gets dropped, this is quite a lot. Like, Zest is definitely respecting the fact that his opponent is freaky YOLO when it comes to drops. And look at this. Like, every opportunity. Oh, he actually scanned this time. Well, blow me down. I wouldn't have bet on that at all. But I mean, after like 5 attempts, you know, 5th one, I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
Well, I think he almost has to because he knows them stalkers have been there for so long. The thing is, Zest just had so much map control. Hallucinate Phoenix on the top, an Observer that just got cleaned up. He's been seen where there's droppers all the time. Finally, he's out of position. Bunny might go back in. There's also already warping in, though. He is going to be able to unload. If Widowmine's here to clean up a few of these zealots, there is possibilities for Bunny to get some damage done.
Zest super respecting this too. Does recall his main army. The thing is, Bunny has like no 1-2 punch with this. His other army's at his third base right now. Like, what's this doing? This could have been denying the fourth and such, but I don't think he ever expected this drop to get in. I think he was worried about a counterattack, but this was very, very mistimed and, you know, a little bit of a mistake by Bunny.
But I think Zest's army was just right out in the center of the map, and so Bunny was kind of forced to be back with his army. So for Zest, it was almost like, you know, you kind of, as Bunny, I guess, you have to kind of respect that and say, you know, I have to pull back, and then, yeah, kind of just with the recall, Zest is able to clean that drop up very easily. Now Zest goes across the map again, and again, Zest is absolutely looking for a big fight here. He's up 2 sets of upgrades. That alone is really powerful, and even with Liberators, this is going to be tough, especially Liberators that should be able to get taken down very easily because there's not much to support them at the moment.
These are the clumsiest Stalkers.
Yeah.
So, like, they weren't dealing with those Liberators quite as they should, and 6 DTs in the army too. I mean, if you don't scan, if you don't see these boys are going to chop you up, but the thing is, if he waits for that +2 to finish, Bunny's army is significantly stronger because right now, Zest's army is unbeatable, I feel, but this is a huge arc, and Bunny, he is trying to pounce on the situation right before 2-2 does, or rather his +2 finishes. He is on the Colossi, he is on the army, but he is fighting with far inferior upgrades. 1 Colossus does go down, but look at that army. It is EMP'd, it does lack a lot of shields here, but those are Immortals, boys, living up to their name, chomping through the army of Bunny, and GG. Zest takes this so far 2-0.
Yeah, Zest absolutely killing it here. I mean, just sort of scouted. He had a good response. Yes, it was a bit shaky, a bit messy with the supply blocks, etc. But he played out the game as it needed to be. There was always a threat of 5-6 plus medevacs going into the main, and he respected that all the way through until he completely cleans it up, because there was never a time, apart from at the very end, where those medevacs had a chance of getting in. And even when they did get in, he had a recall available. His units weren't that far away. And again, just the initial defense, of course, and stopping that all kind of dealing damage early, just put him so far ahead to be able to win the game after with the upgrades in his favor and so on.
I'm a little bit confused about Bunny's game plan in these games because he knows he's against somebody really good.
Yeah.
But the styles that he's going for, like in the first game, going for the mech, or not the mech, the late game, and just then trying to nuke and then trying to play like mass Sky Terran and stuff.
Yeah.
And then this game as well, going for the third base, but then like, you know, stopping SCVs at 49, going for the all-in kind of thing. The way that he's playing against Zest is he's hoping that Zest is going to make mistakes against him. And that's like...
I mean, that's such an awful way to play almost, right? Like someone
that makes me... Yeah, it makes me think that he's kind of hopeless. Like, whether it's just in this matchup or whether it's just against Zest. I have no idea. In fact, I'm going to have a quick look up at the head-to-head score between these players, because if you ask me, like, who was ahead, I would have said Zest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Bunny is good, but it feels like there's no confidence in his play whatsoever when it comes to playing against Zest right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, just a quick update in terms of score. Harsum's up 2-0 against you, Thermal, so that was kind of expected, I think.
Okay, I just checked the head-to-head score. Confirms my beliefs. It's 21-4 in Zest's favor. So, you know,
How many Zest won in a row against Bunny? Oh my God. Like 10?
About 10, 11 games he's won in a row against Bunny. So, you know, a few of the things that are signaling out to me is like, yeah, he's not confident against this guy. He's trying to do strategies that it's like, yeah, if you make a mistake, I'll win, but if you don't, then I'm going to lose. And the thing is, Zest, even though it's like supply blocked and stuff, you need to make a tragic, fundamental, mind-blowing mistake against these kind of strategies that he's pulling out. And Zest immediately in this game, Kairos Junction, he's got a probe patrolling.
Yeah, he is looking for something early on in the game, and there's the pylon dropping down. So Zest absolutely looking to play a bit more aggressively himself this time, take things into his own hands. Kairos is probably the most standard map we've seen in the sense of it's a more regular size, it's not super large, you don't get almost free bases for free right away. So he's straight away just saying, right, time for me to get aggressive and just not let you get into your zone, not let you do what you want to do. I'm going to dictate how this early game goes.
Awesome 3-0 against Thermal.
Wow.
I mean, that is not something I would have bet on. Absolutely not. So, well played to Harstam. He moves into the top 8. A HomeStoryCup legend, yes. He's looking at me now. He's giving me the 3 fingers. But yeah, Harstam is a former HomeStoryCup champion. But getting back into this game, second gateway is on the way. I know a lot of people are going to be calling out the max packs, but this isn't quite the max packs. Not every proxy is a max packs. The max pack specifically is where you make only one gateway and it's a proxy. Not a gateway at home as well. Just letting you guys know out there. Just letting you guys know.
Yep, second gate finish means that we will see a couple of units on the way out very early here. Stalker and an Adept at home. The Adept at home can obviously shade across the map very quickly. It's also very good to have the Adept at home to help defend the Reaper if needed. Although for the moment, it seems that Reaper is sticking at home. Bunny, no scouting at all, so he's playing super safe here.
Right now, Bunny is totally unaware. And I mean, this Reaper might search around for a bit of a proxy, or it might just stay at home. But upon this Stalker arriving so quickly, he's going to know something's up. Now, this Stalker's job, yeah, he wants to damage this Reaper, but fundamentally, he wants to stop that SCV. He wants to kill that SCV and stop this CC from building, which is exactly what he's going to do. And look at this. This is actually a really nice reaction by Bunny. He needs to get that CC up. So his Reaper, he's microing it back. He's really, really respecting this push of his opponent.
So many SCVs pulled just so you can finish the command center. Obviously, it's either this, or you probably have to cancel the command center. But man, this is 4 workers killed already. He's going to slow it down just a little bit further. Obviously, more SCVs are still here, but this is now what? 6 kills and counting. Adept about to show up too, and that depot is just going to raise in time. Wow.
It's so beautiful that they both knew the job that they had to do. Zest had to cancel or stop that CC from being produced, and Bunny knew that that was his objective. So Bunny absolutely tried to deny that from happening. That Reaper just survives here. And look, using the shade for vision on the high ground, I mean, he can do it with the Stalker as well, which he did realize. But now the main base is open. Once the Cyclone comes out, Zest doesn't necessarily know exactly when it's going to pop, so he's just being careful, he's being safe, but that's when he has to back up.
Really bad supply block for Bunny here, who is going to struggle to get out of that for a little while. Starting up that orbital right now, as you are going to see, even this barracks taking damage, and obviously anything you can do to kind of slow down Bunny's production here is nice as Zest. He is expanding back at home. The Cyclone locks on, first Stalker pulls away, but it's high ground vision lost, and the barracks will take no more damage. But Zest already transitioned. I still feel it's gone very well for Zest, though, right? I mean,
we could think that. I mean, no further damage should occur, and the worker count isn't insanely bad. Like, does he have a starport on the way? No, he actually forwent the starport. He's up to 200 gas, and he hasn't made that.
He's also still supply block Bunny. I think that's maybe the biggest thing here, right? Because he didn't instantly start 2 depots, and
you're
that's
right.
Really bad.
And he goes for a 3rd CC without the starport as well. So trying to leave his base in any way, shape, and form is going to be ridiculously hard.
Look at Zest, already a probe out towards the 3rd base. So if Zest throws down a 3rd here, just expecting Bunny to go for a 3rd CC, this is amazing for Zest because he's going to get away with it. There's nothing that's going to come across the map and shut that down and punish Zest. So it's looking good for Zest, and obviously Zest just gets that scout in with the Adept, one of the benefits of having killed those forward depots. Okay,
so he actually gets to see that 3rd CC, right? So Zest knows that, hey, like, yeah, you did something a bit cheeky the game before, like, you know, you stopped at 49 SCVs kind of thing and tried to all-in me. But this kind of game, he has to come back from a real deficit here. And he hasn't seen a starport yet, so maybe Zest might be thinking, oh, there's a proxy starport on the map, you know, it's going to be a Liberator or a Banshee or something. But we know that Bunny's actually in a worse situation economically than maybe Zest is figuring out here. But so behind this, Zest, he's denying the natural. Bunny, like, they're both getting really good scouts on each other. We have to, like, commend them for that as well.
Nice little pick off there as well. Reaper able to get a probe. I mean, it's a situation where actually just anything helps right now. Oh, what a force field for the siege tank. Oh, that's
I'll
really
tell you
nice.
what, that was the ballsiest siege up of all time. You're getting hit by a little Protoss army. It's like, I'm going to siege, mate. Like, screw this.
They'll be scared of me, I swear down. Oh, man. Feels like it's just going from bad to worse for Bunny. Units do get down the ramp now, so this is going to be Zest losing a bunch of units. Blink is done for the Stalkers at least. Lost the Sentry and the Adept.
That's such a sad feeling, you know, like you're so screwed on your economy. And then you see that they have Blink behind all this too, like you just got kind of proxigated. And now he's going to blink into the main. Trouble is going to commence in the main base of Bunny.
Yeah, he's going to already have that mineral line hit a couple of times. Some SCVs going down here, of course. So that's just going to look to blink out of here eventually. A tank has to reposition to the main.
Ooh, you saw that tank. He wanted to get a shot off there, but the Stalkers went just out of range. Now, this is so uncomfortable. You see these Stalkers in your base, but there's not really much you can do about it. Like, you have to be in range of your own tank. Like, this is such an uncomfortable spot for Zest to put his opponent in. Behind this, +1/+1. Charge is starting. He's got a third base up. He's 3 probing at a time while putting on this pressure. This is beautiful Protoss play from Zest.
Yeah, that's absolutely killing it here. He's going to get a couple more Marines. Blinks away off over to the right-hand side. So blinking out over to the right, and engineering base on the way from Bunny will attempt to get back into this a little bit, but we're talking a 20 worker difference between the two of them here. And that means Zest is just going to have so much to throw up on. I mean, it's kind of like what we saw in Acropolis, where Bunny, after the attempt of taking Zest down with that big push, he was down 20 workers, and it didn't matter how much he tried to catch up. Zest just had so much. Obviously, there's also a bigger upgrade difference there, but I mean, it's not too far off here. There's also upgrades much faster for Zest than there is for Bunny.
All right. If we go back to objectives of, like, what do both these players want to achieve? So Zest right now is in freestyle mode. Like, he can do anything. He's taken a 4th base against a very wounded Terran. I feel that's one thing that can maybe catch him a little bit off guard. But Bunny, he's actually not choosing to do anything like catching his greedy opponent off guard because he has 20 workers behind. That's not something you can necessarily catch up on. So the fact that he's taken this base so slowly, so cautiously, I feel, again, just time is on Zest's side and he's doing all the right things. Again, I feel Bunny doesn't, well, he hasn't had control of this game at all in the slightest here. He did encounter a small supply block there. I don't know if he called down a depot and such, but it's a rough spot. It's a real rough spot for Bunny.
Now Zest getting that War Prism up as well. Actually, Zest is just going to go for this right now. Jumps on one of the tanks with those Stalkers. Zealots in the front are still just tanking so much damage here. There is a lot more tanks, but Zest will get rid of another one, and that'll be all he needs for now to deny this third base from Manning. And it's just even more damage from Bunny.